Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to Divine Allegiance. I'm your host, Maulana Baig. So, getting back to the question that I want to talk to you, it's an interesting question, right? It is from Chicago, this brother writes from Chicago that, we hear about the Imam and we do believe in the Imam, but there's no sense of urgency or need that we feel. We don't feel that urgency that's there, So how do we get that? What do we do in order to achieve that? So I think it's a really interesting question, because it's true that many of us obviously believe in the Imam and we love the Imam, we respect him, and we are waiting for him. It's not even that we are not waiting for him, but the sense of urgency doesn't seem to be there within us. It is said in dua and ziyarat, in the words of the Imam, that like a believer waiting for the Imam is like a mother waiting for a child that has been lost. When she looks around for a child that she lost in public, let's say you're at a mall or somewhere and you lose your child, you see the sense of urgency. You see how frantic that mother is in searching for the child, and everyone else around knows. I mean, they can feel that sense of urgency, and they also get affected by that. That's the sense of urgency that is required for a believer to have in looking for his Imam. Just if you can get that into yourself, it's profound, my friends, what that means, in really that sense that we need to have. And so, how do we achieve that? Where do we get that from? Well, let me just speak about something today, right? And I think what I'm going to speak about right now will probably answer a lot of questions, and also on topics like exploitation and about colonization and all of these tyrannical rules and oppressive rules that are out there and their methodology and what they do. It will go a long way in understanding that mind frame. So hear me out on this, really what this is. Looking at human beings, us, we have different sorts of needs. Our needs are different. For example, we need water, we need air, we need food. These are all needs that we have to stay alive. All of these are needs, and you see that they all have a certain level of priority over each other. For example, when it comes to the need of water as opposed to the need of air, we see that air is obviously is a lot more important than water. We can survive without water for probably many days, but we won't be able to survive without air for even a few minutes. And hence you see that air becomes more important. And hence you see these are like different needs that we have: air, food, and water. And they all have their prioritization between themselves, and knowing which is more important of which amongst these needs is very easy, it's logical, and we don't need to think a lot to know them or to feel them. These are known as primary needs. Primary needs are things that we need to stay alive, to exist. We need that. And hence, for example, we need, like we don't get run over by a train, or that we don't get hit by a bus. This is a need. So when we walk out, it takes precedence over, for example, safety is going to take precedence over something that's not so important, like hunger. We can wait for that, but we want to make sure that we are safe. So these are all needs, and these are known as primary needs, things that are needed to stay alive. Now, in order to know these needs, we don't need to go and learn somewhere. We don't need to go to a university and take a course. I need to know what I need. We don't need to know that. These are primary needs, and I don't need any learning for it. Just me observing it, I know right away that this is a need of mine. So these are known as primary needs. Then there's another layer after that, which is secondary needs. Now, these are more psychological needs, for example, of belonging to a family, belonging to a group, being loved by someone. These emotional and psychological needs are secondary needs that are also needs. We also need that. Without knowing that we are loved, you see that we end up becoming depressed. So these are also needs, but they don't come in the place of primary needs. They come after that. Being in a family, being respected, having respect. Anytime we see that, for example, we are being mortified or being humiliated, you see that it goes and hurts us. And that hurt is because it is a need in us to be respected. It is a need in us to be wanted, to be loved, to have importance, to have a place in the society. These are all needs also. Now, when we look at these needs, we are completely aware of primary needs. We are relatively aware of secondary needs. Hear me out again. When it comes to primary needs, we know it all too well. When it comes to secondary needs, we relatively know it. We might not be able to put a complete finger on it, but we can identify it and we can feel it when we see we don't get it. Like, for example, if you're disrespected, you feel it right away. This is a secondary need. And this is really important for us to understand these needs and the hierarchy of these needs, because these are human needs. Now, there's a third group of needs that comes in a third layer behind the primary needs and the secondary needs. There's a third layer of needs. And that third layer, now that takes some thinking, some pondering to recognize. It takes some pondering to recognize you need to get to that need. And I'll tell you how, because it's very important how this works and how this is working this way. It's very important for us to see this as to recognize what we need and what is first and what's second. So let me get to that. This third group of need is hidden away. It's very hidden away. It's behind these two needs, the primary and secondary. It comes third. And hence, we don't see it. We don't feel it. We need to reach it. And then we see that it's actually a need. It's not just a wish or a want, but it's actually a need. And these things that are hidden, first job is to find them, and second thing is to satisfy them. So finding them is hard because, there are so many other needs that come before that. That's why a lot of people never reach that third need that exists in us. We never reach that. And this need is known as spiritual need. The third need is known as spiritual need, and this is something that is hidden behind these two other needs. It is a need to know that we are created, that we do have a master, and we do have a creator who loves us, who cares for us. It's a need that we have. But this need is not a primary need, it's not a secondary need. It is a spiritual need that exists as a third layer. It's hidden deep down there. The issue of people who run away from faith and from belief in God is because it is hidden, it's concealed in the layers of all these other needs that they never see it as a need. They think that this is luxury. They think that this is something that I can live without. They don't know it's a need. But because of the fact they don't know it's a need, they just run away. They shun it. They shun God. They shun divine things. They shun that inner need that they have because they do not know that it's a need. Now, the way this works is like this. The primary needs, you don't need anyone to teach you or know. You know that they exist. And as long as you have primary needs, then secondary needs, which are emotional needs, are irrelevant. For example, if you can't breathe right now and you are dying because of lack of air, you're not worried about being loved by someone. You're not worried whether your wife likes you or not. That's not even in your mind right now. You're just trying to survive. If you're drowning in the water and you see that you're drowning and you're going to die, you're not worried if you're being respected or not in the society. It doesn't matter anymore. So when you have primary needs that are peaking, then secondary needs, which are your emotional needs, don't count. They're not even there. And that's the problem here. The secondary needs don't even exist. They're there. It's a need. But right now it's not important. And then the same thing applies, that if your secondary needs are peaking, if you have emotional needs of being wanted and being respected and all of these needs that you have there, when you see that need as a need and it's peaking, then your spiritual needs right now are not important. When you are depressed, when you are intoxicated because of emotional imbalance, because of psychological problems, then truly your relationship with Allah is really irrelevant for you right now. It's insignificant for you right now. You're not even paying attention to it. Because right now you're going through a depression. Right now you're going through this problem that you have. And you need to solve it. Now, here is what happens when you take care of your primary needs and they're safe. You're alive and well. And then when you take care of your emotional needs and you are protected of that, then you will see that this third need, spiritual need, becomes a reality in your life. It becomes a reality in your life. Then you will see that I need God. You see, when you survive the primary needs, you're alive. When you survive the emotional needs, you're happy to an extent. You find some sort of satisfaction, some sort of happiness. But after finding that happiness, and then you still see a vacuum in your life, and you will see that vacuum in your life, and you will see that emptiness in your life, that's when you will realize that the hiddenmost need that you really have, just like you need water and air, just like you need love and attention, is that you need a relationship with your master and creator. then you will realize and it will become an actual need for you. And when you feel that need, of Allah in your life, when you feel the need of your master in your life, and you feel the need of his mercy and compassion in your life, then everything else, all the other needs, the primary needs and secondary needs, you're ready to sacrifice. People who felt the need of Allah in their life, it doesn't matter to them now whether they live in this world or they don't live. It doesn't matter to them anymore. They have transgressed, they went beyond that. They find happiness in every situation. They will be happy in every situation because they felt the real need of a human being. Allah kept his need hidden away under all these things so that we can reach it. And once we reach it, then we sacrifice everything. All attachments of this dunya, all attachments of this world will be sacrificed once you get to that need. So now, if you understood the mechanism of how this works, now when you feel the need of Allah is when you will feel the need of the Imam also. You feel the need of the Imam. I need him. I don't care about air. I don't care about water. I don't care about these things. I need him more than anything. That is going to come when we reach there, when we go beyond these needs. That's why it is said, for example, that the first thing that Islam wants you to do is to take care of your primary needs. Hey, make sure you're safe. That's why you see that the laws of Islam change when the primary needs are in danger. When your life is in danger, haram becomes halal, halal becomes haram. Everything changes. Allah changes his laws in order to accommodate your primary needs. Yes, not for your secondary needs, but for your primary needs. If you are dying, then you know what? Pork is haram or alcohol is haram, but you know what? If you are dying, then you can drink it. It's halal for you. In fact, it becomes wajib to save your life. It becomes wajib then. So you see how it works. Allah is telling you that. Why? Because Allah wants to make sure that your primary needs are met, that you're safe and you're secured and your life is safe. Good. Once your life is safe, now you come to the secondary needs. He says, fulfill those secondary needs. And so, how do you do that? He says, marriage protects half your deen. When you get married, it is a protection of half of your faith. Your relationship with Allah will become protected once you get married. It is a protection for that. Why? Because once you fulfill this second need of being loved, of belonging, and having an identity, having a home, this now will catapult you to the third need, which is Allah. Now you will see and feel. Yes, it doesn't mean that Allah's ideas and his faith, it doesn't come before that. No, it'll come before that also. I'm talking about feeling it as a need. It has to be through this level, and then you feel the need. Then it says that the prayer of a married person is 70 times more than a bachelor. Meaning that when a married person prays, a family man, when he prays, his prayer is 70 times worth more than a bachelor, a single person. Think about it, reflect on it, and then from there we go and see what else we can find. But I'm telling you this to now, when we understood this, how this mechanics work of needs and finding out the innermost need that we have and reaching that, then a person finds and sees Allah, and everything else other than this need becomes secondary for him. Then this person goes beyond the normal thinking person. He becomes a superhuman. When he reaches this need and recognizes this need and satisfies this need, then he becomes a superhuman who can see beyond everything, who can see through the system of kufr, who can see through everything like easily, because he has recognized. And then when he recognizes that, then you see it comes down. So my friends, what happens? I told you about different things. If you want to understand the mind frame of anyone who wants to hold people back from recognizing tyranny, recognizing oppression, all you need to do is preoccupy them with their primary needs and their secondary needs. They will never reach the third need. Now you understand how people are exploited. Keep them poor. Keep them ignorant. Keep them unlearned. Keep them down there so that they're struggling for their bread and butter, so that they always earn less than what they actually need, so that they're running around left and right trying to make their ends meet, that they never have time for anything else. This is how you make people subservient to you. Keep them like that. Make them subservient. And if they can go beyond that, then you know what? Destroy their families. Destroy their family life. Make it such that your job is more important than anything that has to do with family. Families will break up and they will go and live in other parts of the nation or the world just because there's a job there. They refuse to stay as a family. Make it such that they break up. And once they break up, once that is done, and the only time they meet each other is in Thanksgiving, then you have assured that these people will never fulfill this need. So they never reach the third need. They never feel it. They never grow. And that's how you keep people exploited. That's how you keep the people down. You keep them down by that way. And this is exactly what's happening in the world today. This is why you see that people, a handful of rich people are keeping everyone poor, and in between, not because they know that once they get this, now they want to establish families. If a man is able to earn his livelihood with one job, 8 hours a day, and you see he can earn his livelihood and good, then now the next thing he knows is that he's trying to establish a family. Why? Because he has the money to do so. And once he establishes a family, then what? Then comes when he is looking to fulfill his spiritual needs. And if he fulfills his spiritual needs, he will recognize tyranny as it is, and he will see right through it. And every tyrant is afraid of people who can think and who are woken up. A person who wakes up and sees is dangerous for a system of tyranny. A system of tyranny, someone who is able to see and who is able to know. And that's why they are unable to deal with such people. It's throughout history. You can see it all the way throughout history. We always look for people who are able, who have gone these steps. And then when you reach that, now it doesn't matter if you become poor. You see, after you reach the third need, now even if you become poor, you're still rich. You're still self-sufficient. At first when you were poor, yes, you were looking. You didn't feel it. But once you felt Allah in your life, everything else is immaterial, my friends. And that is the beauty behind it. And this is why we as a people now truly, if you want to find the Imam in your life, you have to get past, establish these needs, and you will see that need is going to become real for you. It's going to start becoming real. And when it does, you know what? Then after that, the family doesn't matter, the respect doesn't matter, that love doesn't matter. All of these things you can live without, because then Allah has overwhelmed everything in your life. The only attention you want is from Allah. The only love that you want is from Allah. And Allah gives that to you. And this is what's the beauty behind it. So a lot of times when we really want to learn about how things work, this is why we want to learn it the right way. Because when you learn it the right way, you can approach it and solve the problems that are going through in your life in that way. I hope that this is the case. I think we're out of time. Yes, we are. I will get to more points inshallah in the future and talk about this also. As I said, if you want me to talk about any subject, anything like that, please write to me and I'll be more than willing to talk about it, to reach it, and to explain it to the best of my ability. And really, this is what we want to do, to educate and to teach and really to learn ourselves also. Thank you for watching Divine Allegiance. We hope you like the show. If you like the show, please go on and hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel and share with your family and friends to spread the message. I'm your host Maulana Baig. Until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.